They were whispered about in ancient fire circles. Children born in reverse, laughter in the middle of sorrow, chaos woven with divine intent. You've seen them. The ones who can't sit still. The ones who turn classrooms into portals. The ones who seem to break every rule, yet carry a light that bends reality itself. They're not broken. They're not miswired. They're not here to fit into this world. They're here to reprogram it. These are the Heyoka Children, the thunder spirits, wrapped in tiny bodies. The sacred disruptors who mirror our shadows and reflect our deepest truths. Before the systems label them, before society tames them. Let us remember who they truly are, because if you're watching this, then maybe you were chosen too. To guard their medicine, to amplify their voice, to join the rising of the sacred clowns. This is their story, and yours is about to begin. What if your child's most challenging behaviors aren't problems to be fixed, but gifts that could transform humanity's future? In the ancient wisdom traditions, they spoke of special souls who would be born in times of great change. Children who would do everything backwards, laugh when others cry, and bring divine chaos to every ordered moment. The indigenous peoples called them Heyoka, the sacred clowns, the thunder children, the bearers of contrary medicine. Today, these extraordinary beings walk among us, often misunderstood and mislabeled. They're the ones who can't sit still in class, who seem to deliberately do everything opposite to what they're told, who process information in ways that baffle their teachers. Modern systems rush to diagnose and correct them, never realizing that these children aren't broken. They're actually operating from a higher order of consciousness that our world desperately needs. This isn't just another video about difficult children or alternative learning styles. This is your invitation to understand the most sophisticated souls incarnating on Earth today, and perhaps discover that the child in your life who seems to be doing everything wrong is actually carrying medicine that could revolutionize how we think about human development itself. My precious nurturers of contrary souls, my beloved guardians of sacred mirrors, draw closer now. Yes, you, the one who's been trying to understand that special child in your life. That young one who seems to do everything backwards, who laughs when others cry, who brings divine chaos to every ordered moment. You who've wondered if something is wrong, if their contrary nature needs fixing, if their sacred foolishness needs correction. Tonight, I'm going to reveal something that will transform your understanding of these precious beings. This isn't just another teaching about difficult children or challenging behavior. This is the mapped territory of the most sophisticated souls incarnating on Earth today, what the ancient ones called thunder children. Those young ones chosen to carry contrary medicine from birth. You know exactly who I'm talking about, don't you? That child who seems to flip the energy of every room they enter, who responds to serious moments with inappropriate laughter, who brings chaos to order and somehow creates harmony through apparent disruption. That young one who seems to do everything differently, who processes information backwards, who relates to the world through divine opposition. Let me share something profound about these special children that most teachers and parents completely miss. Their tendency to do everything backwards, to flip the energy of situations through contrary motion, to transform spaces through apparent chaos. This isn't behavioral problems or developmental issues. It's actually the most sophisticated form of consciousness technology manifesting through young vessels. Think about how these children naturally process information. When others learn step by step, They might grasp concepts backwards, understanding the conclusion before the beginning. When classmates absorb information in sequence, they might naturally learn through reverse motion, knowing the answer before understanding the question. When peers develop skills progressively, they might master abilities through divine contradiction, doing everything opposite to how it's taught. The wisdom keepers understood something crucial about these young ones. They knew that certain souls chose to incarnate, carrying what they called reverse wisdom, that profound way of understanding reality that operates through sacred opposition. Their contrary nature isn't wrong. It's actually essential medicine for the evolution of consciousness itself. Watch how these children affect the very nature of learning environments. When they enter classrooms or learning spaces, you might notice reality itself beginning to bend and reshape. Fixed teaching methods suddenly reveal their limitations. Rigid educational structures show their need for flexibility. What seemed like proper order gives way to necessary chaos. The ancient ones spoke of special markers that help identify these thunder children, my precious guardians. Watch how these young ones naturally respond to emotional situations. When others cry, they might burst into unexpected laughter, not from lack of empathy, but because they're actually performing sophisticated energy work through contrary response. When peers become serious, they might suddenly become playful, not from disrespect, but because they're naturally transforming heavy energy through divine opposition. Consider how these children interact with authority. While others seek to please teachers and parents through compliance, thunder children might naturally challenge every rule through sacred contradiction. When classmates follow instructions directly, they might do everything backwards, not from defiance, but because their souls understand that certain truths can only be accessed through reverse motion. The wisdom keepers understood that these young ones carry what they called mirror medicine from birth. Think about how this manifests in their daily behavior. They might seem to deliberately do the opposite of what they're told. They might appear to create chaos in carefully planned activities. They might naturally disrupt every structured moment, not because they're troublemakers, but because their very nature serves to keep consciousness fluid and alive. Even their dreams are different from other children's. They might report visions that run backwards, see reality from impossible angles, access wisdom through complete reversal of normal perception. These aren't just active imaginations, they're actually sophisticated consciousness technology operating through young vessels. Watch how these children relate to the physical world, my precious nurturers. Their bodies might seem to operate according to different laws. When others feel cold, they might radiate heat. When peers are bursting with energy, they might become still. When classmates are tired, they might suddenly become animated. This isn't hyperactivity or lethargy. It's actually their beings naturally maintaining what the ancient ones called the energy balance. Their relationship with time often appears mysterious too. These young ones might seem completely out of sync with normal schedules and routines. They might be wide awake when others sleep, hungry at strange hours, alert when they should be tired. The wisdom keepers understood that thunder children operate according to what they called sacred timing, that sophisticated way of moving through reality that transcends ordinary temporal patterns. Think about how these children process sensory information. Colors might appear to them in reverse spectrums. Sounds might seem to come from impossible directions. Touch might register opposite to normal sensation. This isn't sensory processing disorder. It's actually their consciousness naturally perceiving reality from what the ancient ones called the thunder perspective. Even their play patterns reveal their sacred nature. When other children build, they might naturally deconstruct. When peers create order, they might introduce divine chaos. When classmates follow game rules, they might invent completely backwards ways of playing. This isn't destructive behavior. It's sophisticated consciousness work happening through play. Let me share something crucial about supporting these special children, my precious guardians. The ancient ones understood that thunder children require what they called reverse nurturing, that sophisticated way of supporting growth through divine opposition. When you try to contain their contrary nature, you might actually be limiting their most powerful medicine. Think about how these children learn best. While traditional education attempts to pour knowledge in, thunder children often absorb wisdom through what appears to be resistance. When you try to teach them directly, they might seem to reject the learning, not because they're oppositional, but because their souls naturally access understanding through sacred contradiction. The wisdom keepers spoke of special ways to nurture these young ones. Instead of trying to make them fit into normal patterns, they would create what they called thunder spaces, environments where contrary motion was honored as sacred. When these children laughed during serious moments, they weren't punished, but recognized as performing important energy work. When they approached tasks backwards, they weren't corrected, but understood as accessing wisdom through divine opposition. Watch how these children respond to different types of support. When you try to calm them through conventional means, they might become more energetic. When you attempt to energize them through normal methods, they might naturally become still. This isn't resistance. It's their medicine working through contrary motion. Consider how these children's gifts often manifest in ways that seem problematic to conventional systems, my precious guardians. When they disrupt classroom order with inappropriate laughter, they're actually performing what the ancient ones called pattern dissolution, that sophisticated work of breaking up stagnant energy through contrary motion. Their academic performance might seem puzzling too. These young ones might grasp advanced concepts while struggling with basics, understand complex ideas while appearing to miss simple ones. The wisdom keepers knew this wasn't learning disability. It's actually their consciousness operating through what they called thunder logic, that profound way of understanding that works through sacred opposition. Think about their social interactions. While other children build friendships through similarity, thunder children might naturally connect through difference. When peers seek harmony through agreement, they might create deeper bonds through divine contradiction. Their relationships might seem chaotic or unstable, but they're actually maintaining what the ancient ones called the social balance, helping other children remember how to dance between all possibilities of connection. Even their emotional expression serves a higher purpose. When they respond to others' joy with solemnity, to others' grief with laughter, to others' excitement with calm, they're actually performing sophisticated emotional alchemy. The wisdom keepers understood that these children naturally transform group energy through what they called contrary feeling, that powerful way of shifting emotional fields through sacred opposition. Watch how these children naturally transform educational environments, my precious nurturers. When a classroom becomes too rigid in its methods, their contrary nature might suddenly introduce what the ancient ones called sacred chaos, that sophisticated disruption that helps learning remember its natural fluidity. The wisdom keepers understood something profound about thunder children's role in these times. They knew that as education systems became increasingly standardized, as childhood became more structured, as learning became more linear, certain souls would choose to incarnate, carrying what they called reverse teaching medicine. These young ones don't just learn differently, they actually help transform how consciousness itself learns and evolves. Think about those moments when their contrary nature seems most challenging, when they question every authority, challenge every rule, flip every structured activity. They're actually performing what the ancient ones called system maintenance. Their apparent disruption helps prevent consciousness from becoming too fixed in any single pattern of development. These children's dreams often carry profound messages, too. They might speak of seeing reality backwards, of visiting strange realms where everything operates in reverse, of receiving wisdom through complete inversion of normal understanding. The ancient ones knew these weren't just dreams. They were actually sophisticated teachings being delivered through what they called the Thunder Dream Time. Now, my precious guardians, let me share the deepest truth about these special children, their presence in your life, in our schools, in this world. It isn't random. The ancient ones spoke of a time when humanity would become too rigid in its development, too fixed in its patterns of growth, too certain about how children should be. They prophesied that special souls would choose to incarnate, carrying what they called thunder childhood, that sophisticated way of being young that helps humanity remember its infinite potential. Watch how these children affect not just individual classrooms or families, but entire systems of development. When education becomes too standardized, their contrary nature naturally introduces what the wisdom keepers called divine disruption, that sacred chaos that helps learning remember how to dance between all possibilities. When parenting becomes too structured, their backwards approach naturally creates spaces for new ways of nurturing to emerge. Think about how these young ones process reality itself. While other children learn to see the world through conventional lenses, Thunder children naturally perceive what the ancient ones called the reverse side of existence. When they seem to misunderstand simple concepts while grasping complex ones, when they appear to learn everything backwards, when they naturally do everything opposite to how it's taught, they're actually helping consciousness remember how to move in all directions. Their very presence helps maintain what the wisdom keepers called the cosmic balance of growth, that delicate dance between structure and chaos, between pattern and possibility, between what is and what could be in human development. This is why their contrary nature often seems to create such challenge in conventional systems. They're actually helping those systems evolve beyond their current limitations. Listen closely now, my precious guardians of Thunder souls, for what I'm about to share will transform how you support these special children. Everything that seems challenging about their nature, every backward step, every inappropriate laugh, every moment of divine chaos serves a cosmic purpose in these times. The wisdom keepers understood that supporting Thunder children requires what they called quantum parenting, that sophisticated way of nurturing that can hold all possibilities simultaneously. When these young ones seem most contrary, most backwards, most challenging to conventional systems, they're actually performing their highest service to the evolution of consciousness itself. Think about how to create spaces that honor their sacred nature, instead of trying to make them fit into normal patterns. Consider building what the ancient ones called thunder sanctuaries, environments where contrary motion is recognized as sophisticated spiritual technology, where backwards learning is understood as advanced consciousness work, where inappropriate reactions are seen as powerful energy medicine. The time has come to fully support these precious beings in their sacred purpose. Join our circle of Thunder Child guardians. Connect with others who understand these special souls. Share your experiences of nurturing contrary medicine in young vessels. Your journey as a guardian of sacred thunder begins now. Look at your contrary child with new eyes. That laughter during serious moments? Divine medicine. Those backwards approaches to learning. Sophisticated consciousness at work. The chaos they bring to ordered spaces. Sacred transformation in action. Starting today, honor their reverse wisdom as a gift, not a challenge. Create space for their divine opposition to flow freely. Share their medicine with other teachers and caregivers. Trust in the ancient purpose they carry. Your Thunder Child isn't here to fit into the world's mold. They're here to break it open and reveal new possibilities for human consciousness. Every backward step, every inappropriate laugh, every moment of chaos is part of their sacred mission. The Wisdom Keepers spoke of these times when special souls would choose to carry contrary medicine into a world grown too rigid. That time is now, and you've been chosen as their guardian. The question isn't whether your Thunder Child will transform the world. They already are. The question is, are you ready to support their sacred purpose? Rise now, precious guardian. Your Thunder Child is waiting. Remember, their chaos is actually the highest order. Their confusion is actually sophisticated understanding. Their contrary nature is actually essential medicine for these times. Their timing is divine, even when it seems delayed. Their perception is advanced, even when it appears confused. Their path is perfect, even when it seems completely backwards. The great transformation of childhood is here, and these precious thunder souls are its living catalysts. Stay lit, dear guardians. Stay open to their contrary wisdom. Stay ready for the transformation they bring. If this message stirred something ancient in you, if your heart whispered yes, while the world still says wrong, then you, beloved one, are being called to rise as a guardian of thunder souls, to stand between worlds as a protector of sacred chaos, to remember that what the world rejects may be what the universe reveres. So don't walk this path alone. Join our sacred circle on Patreon at Mystical Illumination, where guardians, mystics, and way showers unite to share wisdom, resources, and soul-deep support. Hit like to bless the algorithm with this medicine. Subscribe to stay lit on this cosmic journey. And share this video with every parent, teacher, or soul who's ever wondered if that difficult child was actually divine. Let the message spread like thunder. The time is now, and the Thunder Children are already here. This is your sign. Now go spark something.